Today, we're very grateful to have Erik Hammond. Good morning, Erik.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
The thing that I love about Erik is he's here with us every third Tuesday of the week and share with us some of marketing tips. Erik owns a company called the Orange Stack, which is a digital marketing company. Another great thing about him is his background is in real estate.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's tough to talk with marketing people because they don't understand where we're coming from. And I'm very grateful and lucky to have met Erik, who can understand real estate and understand marketing at the same time. So thank you, Erik, for being here every third Tuesday of the month.
You bet. Thanks for having me. It's a lot of fun.
And if you don't know who I am, my name is Jessica Crumble. I am the owner of Allison James Estates and Homes, which is a nationwide real estate company. My goal is really to bring value for the agent, gain more knowledge, have access to more training at low cost or free if it's possible. This show is for all agents, not just Allison James Estates and Homes agent. All of you, we're here every Tuesday. We also do a Fun Fact Friday that is open to all agents, where we teach about new app in the industry or new technology tools that you should be using. And we have a national webinar every month, third Wednesday of the month. And this month, we will talk about HomeSnap. If you do not have HomeSnap in your market, it is a great tool, or you can just take a picture of a home and you can get all the information about this property. I know we use that a lot in California. It's not in every state yet, but it will be. So make sure to tune up on September 19th for the HomeSnap National Webinar. Now, let's just start with our theme, which is how to work with millennials on Snapchat. Erik, we're going to start with a very easy question. What is Snapchat?
Yeah, good, easy question. I think I can answer that one. Snapchat is a fun social media platform. It had a huge peak of growth. Everyone thought it was going to be the next Facebook, and it's kind of halted a little bit and had some slowdown. But the fun part about Snapchat is that it's just fun. It's a fun app. The demographics of who uses it is kind of all over the place, but most of the people on there right now are between 13 and 30 years old, and that probably makes up 40% of the platform. So you're probably thinking, I don't sell to 30-year-olds and under. We're going to talk about that in a bit, I think. But the fun part of it is it's just one of those apps where you take a picture, you shoot a video, and it's gone, right? After 24 hours, it's gone forever, and people get to kind of digest your life in short little clips, and it's just easy. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to edit it. You just hold up your phone, take a picture, and it's over. So there's a lot of fun stickers and Bitmojis and things you can add to it to kind of make your story fun and interesting and more creative.
Now, about 8 months ago, I used to use Snapchat every day, even twice a day. I used to love Snapchat, use all the filter. Now that Facebook came up with Facebook Story and Insta Story, I feel like I'm using Snapchat less than before. Yeah. What's your opinion? Sometimes I'm thinking, is Snapchat going away, or is it going to have like a different version of Snapchat that will keep the audience using that app?
Yeah, I think that Snapchat came up with the idea of the disappearing story, and they made that part of it easy and fun to use. But then Facebook and Instagram came along quickly, and they're a big company, and they were easily able to adapt that same kind of technology and the software that's there. And they have their own kind of spin to it. I think Snapchat does a good job of being creative in what they do every once in a while. About 3 months ago or so, they keep coming up with just new things that they offer that the other platforms don't. And then a few weeks later, Instagram will figure it out. And vice versa, Instagram does the same thing. I think the question you got to ask yourself, is there's about 100 million people still on Snapchat every single day. And that may seem small compared to the 2 billion that are on Facebook. But think about it this way, like Facebook rolled out video, right? And they're huge on video, and you can watch video. They have kind of TV shows and episodes and everything like that. But YouTube still exists. And so you can have multiple platforms doing the same exact thing, and I think it just depends where your demographic is. And that's what we're going to get into today, is really helping you understand that there's this whole movement of buyers that are coming, right? 20 to 30-year-olds that are probably going to be buying a house in the next 5 to 10 years or sooner. And you have an opportunity to reach them on the platform that they're probably hanging out on and mostly living their lives. And so if you can kind of influence them now and tell them what's going on and, you know, how to buy a home and how to be prepared for home ownership someday. You have the opportunity to reach them before it's too late. So it's a good way to build your brand and start making that connection.
And another thing that real estate agents should change their mind with is, I know when I talk to them about Snapchat, they're like, oh, this is an app for teen. I'm not going to use that. This is very unprofessional. I use it. And I know that whatever I'm doing now will have an effect in 10 years from now. But because the people who are 15 or 16 today, they are going to buy in 10 years from now. And I will already have a large audience comparing to these people who just decide not to use Snapchat.
Yeah, yep. I think a big part of it too is a lot of agents that I talk to say, look, I only have time for one platform. I can't be everywhere all the time at once. And if that's their case, you got to know your demographic. You know, if you're selling buyers 45 years old, it probably makes more sense to hang on Facebook. But if you're willing and you have the time, or you're new and you're just trying to get your message out everywhere, it pays to be everywhere. If there's a social media platform with 100 million people on it, I want to be there because I want anybody who's interested in learning about me to have that chance. And you've got to assume that there's going to be people who are just on Snapchat and will never see you if you're only on Facebook or only on Instagram.
It is a free exposure, so why not?
It is. It's free, so take advantage of it while it's still here.
What type of content does a Snapchat user digest?
Yeah, so when it first started, it was only 6-second clips that you could record, and then they added photos, and then they made it 10 seconds, and now you can record up to a minute of kind of one big long video that's in 10-second clips. So the goal, I think, is to create video, engaging video that's fun. And if you go look at some of the bigger Snapchat users right now, some of them will spend a whole day editing and creating a fun 60-second clip that's just out of this world. And they'll do that every single day. Other people have a hard time coming up with a picture to post on there. But I think what people are trying to digest and follow along with is video. And that's why I tell people, if you're interested in vlogging, Snapchat and Instagram are probably the easiest places to just hold your phone, hit record, send a message out there and be done with it. You don't have to go to YouTube. You don't have to edit it and mix music and put in credits and all these kind of things. Just snap your life as you go through the day. You know, show your morning routine, show the houses that you're looking at, show the homes that you're inspecting, and talk to the inspectors, talk to the contractors. You only have 60 seconds, so you got to keep it pretty brief, but make it interesting and engaging and just add fun to it. There's so many fun filters and lenses that you can add and just make it kind of interesting. Maybe you interview your inspector while he's wearing a helmet, right? You never know. Just make it fun and interesting, and you're going to stand out and do something that nobody else is probably doing.
Now, should the agent use Snapchat more for like listing or open house? Would Snapchat be a good tool to market your open house?
It's okay for an open house. The problem with Snapchat is that when you do spend the money to buy a geo filter, you can't put any of your own contact information. You can't put an address, you can't put a phone number, an email. It's more for just kind of building that brand, right? So you can have your logo, your brand, your image, photos of, not photos, but the Bitmoji of you to kind of identify who you are. But what you can do is put a radius around a neighborhood and say, look guys, you know, there's an open house in this area, and advertise that area. So you can use it to advertise, but I think the best thing to do is to have your followers and let people know that you're on this platform and provide unique content that you're not sharing anywhere else. So if you've got 100 or 1,000 followers, maybe every house that you go tour during the week, you just take a quick photo or a video of the kitchen or the view or the bathroom and just say, hey, I'm out touring properties today. Here's 3 new properties that are on the market in this area. If you're interested, you know how to reach me. And your contact information is there. So I think it's a good way of just kind of giving short, brief property tours. And that's probably the best way to use Snapchat in the real estate world.
And I think it's a great tool too when someone who's more into visual and less content. Like I don't write blogs. I'm not someone who likes to write articles or do blogs, but I like taking pictures.
Yeah.
Snapchat is a great tool for me because I can express myself through a picture and I don't have to put the words to it.
Yeah, you can, and you can see more than just one stagnant photo looking one direction, right? Like what's behind you in that photo. So you can turn around and look at things, and you have the opportunity to show off the rest of the house that maybe the original listing agent didn't have an opportunity to provide.
Now, Snapchat, there is no history. Everything goes away after 24 hours. What's the point?
It's gone. That's the point, is you got to keep doing it. And if you make a mistake yesterday, it's gone and nobody else saw it, right? So just keep making them, keep going. You can actually screenshot your images and save them and post them other places if you're interested and you do make something very clever that you're pretty proud of. But for the most part, yeah, it's gone forever. So that's the thing too, is if your followers, let's say you had 10 buyers that you're working with, right? And you're out there actively looking at new properties and there's just nothing for sale in the areas that these buyers are looking for. Let's say Wednesday is your property tour day and you go see 3 houses and you take pictures and videos of these houses and you upload them to Snapchat. And if they knew that that's the only place that they're going to be able to see these houses, they're going to follow you. And they know that if they miss today, they're going to miss out on an opportunity to see a house that maybe you provided. So because of the uniqueness and because it goes away, they have to watch it now. They can't tune in a week and watch it later. So that's kind of a pro and a con, I think.
I think you're also more in the moment, right? Because if you look at Facebook or Instagram, Facebook posts, right? It's easy to scroll down. What's next? What's next? When you're on Snapchat and you're looking at a picture, you really have to focusing on the picture and be in the moment, so you will remember more about that snap.
Yeah. It goes away, and once it's gone, it's gone. You can't scroll back. So, yep.
Can you explain to people what is a ghost code?
I actually met the guy who created the ghost code. It's pretty cool. They basically took the boring QR code that you've probably seen everywhere, little boxes and squiggles all over the place, and they drew a ghost outline in the middle that you can change the photo of the middle, and then the pixels around it basically identify who you are. So that when you're on Snapchat and you go to scan this code, you can bring people to a website, you can have them follow you now, you can bring them anywhere online, which is cool. So if you have this Snap code, which everybody has their own unique code, and you can actually generate multiple codes for different uses. You can put it on all your marketing materials. You can put it on houses that you listed. You can put it on the signs in the front yard. So imagine that if a neighborhood had an open house sign, you could put this little ghost code in the corner, and they can be as small as about 1 inch by 1 inch, and they can be as big as a billboard. When somebody walks up and scans that, it could take them to a property tour of the house so that they can actually experience the whole property tour of the house from their phone and not have to go and schedule a showing with their agent. And then now you can reach out to them and know exactly who they are because they've been to your website. So there's a lot of different uses for it. The advantages of it is that you can track it, you can see who scanned it, you can direct them anywhere you want online, and it's kind of fun. And it just takes up a small little corner of your space. So you can put it on your business card, you can put it on all your mailers, anything you want.
So ghost code is almost a replacement for QR code. Can you run one link for the ghost code, or can you put multiple links?
You can, so each ghost code has its own direction. So I have my personal one for my own followers. So if you scan me, it's going to make you follow me. But I could have another code that says, if you scan this, it's going to take you to a website that I want. You can change that website as often as you want. So you can create as many ghost codes as you want.
Do you use ghost code? I
do. Yeah. So ironically, because we're on a lot of different social media platforms, I'll put my ghost code in some of my videos in the bottom corner, like on YouTube. Sometimes I'll put it on mailers and things that we do. It just really depends. But I definitely don't use Snapchat as much as I used to. A year and 2 months ago, my third daughter was born, and I actually snapped the whole day. It was really cool, all the way from the moment when my wife said it's time to go to the hospital till the baby was born. And it was fun. We had thousands of followers following us, and I was able to download the whole video and remember it later. But yeah, we lived this whole incredible moment through Snapchat. It was fun. And I think that was like the peak of my use of Snapchat. And it was just a fun kind of experience. But then since then, I still use it probably weekly, but not as much as I used to.
Now, Snapchat offer ads. You can do Snapchat ads.
Yep. So after, go ahead.
As a company, I still have not used Snapchat ads yet. I'm thinking about it. Can you give me your opinion about using Snapchat ads for real estate? Is it the same thing than Facebook ads with when it comes to targeting the people? How does it work?
Yeah, so you don't get the same demographics of targeting as Facebook offers, just because Facebook knows everything about you. They track everywhere you go. Snapchat doesn't know as much. They do know a few things, and they do follow you on a few sites. But generally, your ad placement is a full screen short video at the end of a couple snaps, right? So maybe after a couple celebrity snaps, or after, if you go to like kind of what's trending, those kind of snaps, you can see after 4 or 5 of them, you'll see an ad. And the interesting thing about it is I read the average watch time of one of these ads is less than a half a second. Whereas Facebook doesn't even charge you unless you watch 3 seconds of a video. So The engagement's pretty low right now. There's no bar of skipping to the next ad, so it's still kind of a weird place to do it. Most of the ads that you see on there are more lifestyle stuff, right? So restaurants, clubs, drinks, food, things like that. Google every once in a while advertise on there. But I don't think, to be honest, it's the place that you probably want to advertise as a real estate agent, just because your money will be skipped right over. So it's going to be better for you to spend your money on more of a geo filter in your local area. And, you know, for $5 to $10 a day, you can get some good brand exposure versus an ad that's probably going to get skipped over.
And that was my last question, is the geo filter is probably one of the best features to advertise yourself as an agent. An example, I know we're doing a beach party on Saturday for our Allison James agent, and we creating a geo filter with Allison James logo on it. So when they are in the party, they can get access to the filter. So it is a great marketing tool, because now they're advertising our brand everywhere.
Yeah.
How does a real estate agent can use the filter to market themselves? Doing maybe a webinar, like a buyer convention or a buyer seminar? How would you use it?
That's the trick, is you can't have a lot of contact information for it. And again, so it's just going to be more brand. You're not going to get somebody to call you from a Snapchat geo filter and said, hey, I saw your little face in the bottom left corner of my photo. Can you sell me a house? It's not going to happen. But what you're going to do is, if you go to Snapchat, you can click on the map, and there's going to be a full screen Google map, and it's going to show you a heat map. And it shows you where the pockets of Snapchat users are. So what I would recommend is go scout out your farm in your area and see where these big blue blobs are, because that's where most people are using Snapchat. And so if you think about it, like malls or village fairs or the beach or wineries or high school football games, that's where you want to put your geo filter. Somewhere where someone's going to actually sit there, pull out their phone, and use Snapchat. And so you're going to have your little corner of the screen at the bottom. It's just your brand. It might say Erik sells real estate. It might say Allison James. It may say something, but it's just going to be your brand. And they're going to be scrolling through their filters looking for something interesting and see your stuff. They may or may not use it in a photo, but at least it's just top awareness, and it's going to remind them that you're in real estate and that you're selling houses.
Is there a way for you to tag them or see a report of who used your filter?
Yeah, it'll tell you how many people saw it, how many people used it, and then from there you can retarget them with more stuff later. So it's pretty cool.
Follow the people who use your filter and be able to target them, to retarget them.
Yeah. Yep. So again, it's just kind of like having a billboard that people are actually staring at on their phone, and it just reminds them who you are. And so when they see that, and then the next time they're on Facebook, they're like, oh yeah, that's the guy at the football game that we used the Snapchat filter, right? And you just keep awareness. And to kind of give you some ideas of cost, every 20,000 square feet of land that you cover is about $5. So to cover a whole football game, you're probably like $20 for the whole game, right? Like super affordable for branding versus having to pay to advertise on one of the scoreboards. Much better.
That's really cheap, and it's all about farming one area. So it's a very low cost, because $5 you can't really do anything.
Yeah. It's a good way to get into the game of advertising and just kind of see how it's going to work.
Erik, thank you very much.
You bet. Thanks for having me. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you, everyone. Next week, the topic will be Catch the Energy and Release the Potential with Diana Eber. She will be here next Tuesday at 10 a.m. And I wish everyone a great week. Bye-bye.
Hey, guys.